we're going to do a test of the Tuff here Wolverine, and our first test is going to be making a baton. So we're going to use this piece of wood here. I'm just going to double check you can see what I'm working on here. So we're going to tap the blade. We're going to make the handle right before this first knot here, maybe up to about there. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here, but basically I'm just making my little indent so that when I start batoning, it just goes to that area and doesn't split the wood all the way down. Alright, so let's start trying to take a little bit off here. So basically that's how you sort of narrow it. A little bit further than I wanted, but that's okay. It's pretty in there. I have to give that guy a little bit of assistance here. Alright, let's keep on going here. And make this about, I've got pretty, for a guy, I've got pretty small hands. So we'll make this relatively narrow for my little girl hands. Off some of these little edge pieces here. Almost getting to the carving stage. Just want to make this a little bit more narrow towards the top part here. Doing a good job doing kind of fine, accurate chopping. Sounds good. carving just to even out all the edges here. Carve inwards a bit as well. Right. It should serve the purposes for now, and I'll make this a little bit better, but that'll be just fine for my purposes right now. Okay. Yeah, that'll work well. So, I think we'll do a little bit of chopping and then we'll do some batoning into the wood and see which one works better. I'm just going to make sure the camera's aimed correctly here. So you can see. Alright, so let's do a little bit of chopping here and just see how good of a chopper this knife is. So, as one would think with a 6.5-inch blade, not an amazing chopper, but can chop. So yeah, it would take me a while to beaver my way through that, but let's try it with the baton now. This is how I would be chopping if I was chopping a tree down in survival situation. Ideally, I'd be batoning chunks out. Just like that, get a big chunk out. Not a lot of vibration in the handle, which is nice. So yeah, this would be the way I'd be chopping up a tree if I didn't have a saw in a survival situation. But ideally, you should probably be taking a saw with you because it's going to make life a lot easier. It does do a really good job batoning and biting into the wood. It's because of that good blade depth. That blade depth allows you to penetrate deep into the wood, kind of like an axe would. Oopsie doodles. Yeah, it's doing a pretty admirable job, in my opinion. Alright. This is a good 4-inch plus thick piece of wood. So, not something probably be cutting down maybe this size or smaller of a tree in a survival situation if I couldn't get any good wood easily. Good dry wood. Yeah, it's like a little beaver taking chunks out of here. Doing a good job. I'm being by no means gentle with this, so we'll see if there's any damage to it, but I doubt there will be because Work Tuff gear makes practically invincible knives. We're slowly getting through it, but I mean, you're not going to get through a tree super quickly with a 6-inch knife regardless of what you do. So this thing was 8 inches or 9 inches, kind of like a Kodiak or the Work Tuff Gear mountain lion. It would do make quicker work of this for sure. So I think we might as well just go till we get right through. Probably get there in the next couple minutes. Making good progress. Probably be through sooner than we think here. There we go. Alright. So, if you really got to chop down a tree for whatever reason, it can be done. Although, I'm not sure I'd completely recommend it. So I might as well split these up because I'm going to burn them. So, I'm going to try to judge the thickness of this. I'd say this is 3.5 to 4 inch piece of wood here, maybe. Because of that increased cutting edge here, it's going to be easy for me to baton my way through this. There you go. Yep. No problem. Alright, let's do something more challenging now. We're going to baton through a bigger piece of wood. I'm going to back the camera up a little bit here. By the way, this isn't beating up my baton very badly at all. So that's good. So let's baton through this. I always find the longer pieces are more difficult to get through, and be a good test of this knife, but I suspect it won't be too much trouble. Yeah, definitely not. So this tree's given me a lot of trouble with batoning through it with other knives. I think it's because of the grain twists a lot and it's got a lot of knots, but it doesn't seem to stop this knife. Not a problem. There we go. Let's do one more quick baton here, and then we'll call her a day. Alright, folks. Man, this thing's a beast. It's a Work Tuff Gear Wolverine. If you're thinking about getting one of these and there's some available, I definitely recommend getting one. Just a beast of a little knife. Very comfortable in my hands. My hands are a medium glove size. Sometimes I'm in a large, it just depends on the manufacturer. Medium to large hands. Probably more medium, and it fits perfect. So, big fan of this knife so far.